Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. This is Cricket Lott for Monday, August 14th, and we are at the Raw Food Potluck. And Joyce Oliveto is our speaker for this evening. She has been in raw food for many, many years, studied under Ann Wigmore, was at the Creative Health Institute. She can tell you all the other places where she learned all this information, and she is going to talk to us about cleansing and detoxing, right, Joyce?
A lot of stuff. And if I have
So go
if I
ahead.
don't have time for it all, then we'll do the rest another time.
Okay, well, you have until 7:30, so
All
you're
right.
ready. Go.
Okay. First of all, happy birthday, Gwen. All right, so we're going to talk about vibrant health, and we're going to talk about digestion, elimination, detoxification more than anything else, colon health. So wellness is a conscious choice. And obviously, if you guys are here with Cricket, you have chose this path. But it's a choice. I believe it's a choice to continually improve our overall quality of health and life. And it's all about eating healthy. That's part of it. But I'm going to be covering a lot of things today. So let's talk a little bit about, why, what is your why? Okay. We can talk about living in a healthy body. And it's been a very emotional experience for me, and probably for everybody who's on this path that has walked it very deeply. My life was changed tremendously 43 years ago, and it's been an amazing journey for me, and it continues to be. I have a passion for teaching. I'm a naturopath, I'm a nutritionist, I'm a colon hydrotherapist, but most of all, I love to teach. I love it so much because I can help people walk this path and not realize and understand that it's not difficult. And I think as you become educated, the more you're educated, and I know that Cricket has a lot of great speakers, but the more you're educated, I believe the more it helps you. The more you know, the more it helps you. And I also believe that watching your loved ones is a very deep, fulfilling experience. All of my children, and I have 3, all of my grandchildren, I have 7, and my great-grandchildren, and I have 4, and another one on the way, walk the path. None of them smoke, none of them drink. They eat healthy. They actually work out every day or hike, or they just have a deep consciousness. And I've been doing this with them since they were born. So we all have the ability to overcome genetics, and it's pretty exciting. So let's talk about the 3 main reasons for dis-ease: stress, lack of proper nutrition, and most of all, toxicity. Some avenues tell you stress is #1 killer. Some say toxic body and lack of nutrition. I think they're all equal from my experience. I've been in practice for 43 years. Many people have a fear of disease, but we don't need to. It's not necessary. Our body's either moving towards degeneration and dis-ease, or it's moving towards regeneration and rejuvenation. And yes, rejuvenation is absolutely 100% possible. So nutrients are building blocks for our cells. Our malnourished cells are replaced by healthy nourished cells over time. So it takes 100 to 150 days for our cells in our entire bloodstream to be replaced. And you have the ability to change the quality of your cells. It takes 12 months for up to 80% of the cells in our bodies to be replaced. And you have the ability to have those cells be healthy. So your cells regenerate at over 2 million a minute, 3 billion a day, red blood cells in 120 days. That's pretty exciting. So that allows us to create healthy cells, which creates healthy tissue in the body, which creates healthy organs and healthy systems, which equals a healthy body. And also, in my case, and I believe when you're passionate about this and you're walking the walk and teaching your family and loved ones, it's going to affect your entire family. So let's learn a little bit about understanding digestion, assimilation, and elimination. Detoxification is extremely important, extremely important. And it's not as difficult as most people think it is, but it's absolutely essential. So there's so many problems that are caused by physical toxicity. It's one of the major reasons for disease and absolutely speeding up the aging process. So toxicity affects cellular function. It affects your nutrition because it's harder for the body to assimilate any nutrients you take in when there's toxicity, and it also affects the stress level. And stress is one of the main reasons that people have so much anxiety today. These all lead to a weak immune system. We need a stronger immune system to deal with today's world. Yet our food has much less nutrition. And most of you probably know, some of this may be redundant, and hopefully you're going to just get it deeper. Most fruits and vegetables have over 400 times less nutrients than they did 50 years ago. There's more stress. There's more toxicity everywhere you turn, everywhere you breathe. It's pretty wild. But we do have to take responsibility for our health. And I want to start out by talking about enzymes, because I'm hoping that even if you think you know it all about enzymes, maybe I can teach you a little bit more. So enzymes are necessary throughout the entire human body to break down toxins. It builds protein into muscle to help eliminate carbon dioxide from the lungs. Provides immune activity to ward off attacks from invading organisms. Cooking destroys nutrients and enzymes. Enzymes begin to die at 110 degrees. Up to 80% of your vitamins, minerals, vitamins, amino acids, and antioxidants are destroyed. And most people eat all cooked foods. Am I suggesting you're 100% raw? No. If you want to be, fine. But try to do at least 60 to 70%, 70%, 75%. It's not that difficult to do. It's much easier and less time to cook than it is to cook. And you guys all know that you're at a raw food potluck. So let's talk a little bit about, I'm going to go into this deeper, but our bodies have the ability to borrow from our metabolic enzyme bank. That's pretty frightening. And we're going to talk more about that. I'm going to go deeper into that. Studies have shown that the human pancreas, in relationship to our body size and weight, is extremely large when compared to animals. And I'm going to say that a different way. It's larger than it's been. The pancreas is becoming larger. Okay, animals eat raw food. Their pancreas is the same size as it was. And when I started my practice many, many years ago, I didn't see any cancer. And I started my practice in about 1982. And then the cancer started creeping in. And then about 10 years after that, pancreatic cancer started creeping in. So your pancreas is one of your main organs responsible for producing digestive enzymes. Let's talk a little bit more about the different types of enzymes. Your metabolic enzymes are found and should be present and active in every organ, every tissue, and all the fluid in our body. And what your metabolic enzymes do is they regulate every biochemical action and reaction that's required to sustain life. Remember this, because I'm coming back to this. Your digestive enzymes are secreted by the pancreas and other organs when found and introduced into the body, okay? When food is introduced into the body, I'm sorry. So your digestive enzymes, what happens, the body allows digestive enzymes to be secreted into the stomach when the food comes in. The pancreas has to do that. Food enzymes are found in uncooked foods, as you know, and everything that isn't, none of them are destroyed by heat. Okay, I'm going to go, and you guys probably know this, but there's a difference between a raw food and a live food. Live foods are much higher in nutrition, much easier to digest, and very concentrated superfoods. And they are made from sprouted seeds, nuts, grains, or legumes. So there's 4 major categories of enzymes, but there's many different types of enzymes on top of this. So protease is a protein splitting enzyme. Protease is present in any raw meat or raw fish, okay? But as soon as it's cooked, they're gone. And protease helps digest the protein. And that takes, one of the main things about raw and living foods is it takes a lot of energy. It takes much, much, much less energy from the body to digest. And we need that energy and everything the body needs to do as we get older and living in this world today. We need it. And so when we're eating cooked food, the body has to work harder, and we don't want the body to work harder. So raw and living foods are based on the fact that it's much easier to digest nutrition that supports the body, where the body doesn't have to work that hard, and the energy can go for the immune system. Amylase breaks down starch and carbohydrates. Lipase breaks down, what did I do? Hang on. Lipase breaks down fat, and cellulase is a cellulase splitting enzymes, but there are many other types of enzymes, but they're not in food. I have designed, with all of my years of experience, a product line, one that works with the colon, one is a digestive enzyme, and one is a detox. And you may go to my website to learn about those, and they're wonderful. So all foods, when raw, contain the needed enzymes associated with them. And each category of food has its own enzyme present and in the correct proportion to digest it, unless it's cooked. So I'm going to turn my phone off here because people are trying to get a hold of me, and I'm just going to turn it off. I'm sorry. Okay. So your white blood cells, which is made in your lymphatic system, should be enzyme rich. And their job is to primarily digest foreign bodies in the blood. A deficiency of enzyme can lead to hypertrophy of the pancreas. And it's obvious it's starting to happen. Breakdown of organs and other breakdowns of organs, which are responsible for the production of digestive of enzymes. So this all leads to general weakening of the immune system, which can lead to degenerative disease and rapid aging. Studies have shown that virtually all disease can be traced to missing or faulty enzymes, and that the length and quality of life is directly proportional to the level of enzyme activity in our body. So I want you to think about this. The majority of people eat all cooked foods. And if you really want to learn about enzymes, Dr. Edward Howell's book, Enzyme Nutrition, is the best. And he wrote it many, many years ago, but it is the best. So enzyme levels in our body decrease as we age, and
Joyce?
at the same, yes,
Joyce,
yes,
say his name.
yeah. What? Dr. Edward Howell.
Say his name again. Howell.
Yeah. Dr. Edward Howell.
Howell.
Yes, Enzyme Nutrition. And one of the other renowned enzyme experts in the world is Viktoras Kulvinskas. He and I developed my digestive enzyme product and my detox product together. I designed and developed my colon support product. I've been a colon therapist for 43 years. So I just want you to know that. So enzyme levels in our body decrease as we age. All right. And at the same time, there's an increasing tendency towards degenerative disease, tissue breakdown, and chronic conditions. There's a direct connection.
I always have a speaker.
Hello? Somebody might want to mute themselves. There's a direct connection between the strength of our immune system and our enzyme level activity and our enzyme level. All right. So there's been many tests that have been done and that have shown that as we age, our enzyme levels are less. When we die, there's no enzyme activity at all. That doesn't have to happen if you're taking digestive enzymes and eating raw foods. So they have shown that the enzyme level in a young people in their 20s is higher than someone in their 60s or 70s, but that all depends on how you take care of yourself. Do you take digestive enzymes? Do you eat raw foods? And it's really important to take a digestive enzyme with every meal. More enzyme reserve we have, the stronger our immune system is, and the stronger and healthier we will be. I want to talk a little bit about detoxification. I know this is not a pretty picture, but it's true. Supporting the channels of elimination and the filtering system. Detoxification is essential. It doesn't have to be difficult. You don't have to do to detoxify. The most important thing to do, and I'm going to talk about this now and focus on it, is we have to focus on our filtering and our eliminative systems. And I'm going to cover that with you. But I was watching something about a week ago, which I hadn't seen in a long time. It's a documentary, and it's basically, I went on Netflix and it came up, and it's poison. And some of you, or all of you or not, may remember some years back, the big, huge E. coli everywhere it was happening. First, it started in Jack in the Box, and they did not cook their hamburgers well enough. And if you watch it, I think it's educational. I think it's important to know these things, but the beef it's really bad. Most of it is, almost all of it, even if you're getting organic, but it's definitely grass-fed organic beef with a consciousness is much different. But the beef, when they show what they show in this, I knew I had to share it with you guys. And I just added this to my presentation because I wanted to share it with you guys. It shows what they do and how everything they do when they take a carcass apart. And there could be in hamburger, and I don't think they do this with organic, and I'm going to look into that. But in the mainstream with hamburger, that could be coming from hundreds of different cows and different parts from all different places. It's people, I believe I have a difficult time eating out, because when you remember back, I think it was not even 10 years ago, when there was, I say 7 years ago, that huge spinach and romaine E. coli breakout where so many people were dying. Well, I looked into that, and they even covered it on the documentary. There's what they found out with the romaine, which is grown in Arizona. That particular, and it's romaine that is sold throughout the country, everywhere, right? That whole field. It's right next door to a cattle company. That what they found, how the E. coli came onto the romaine and the spinach, is that the cattle were eliminating, and all the runoff went into the water, and the water right next to that farm is sprayed on the vegetables and the romaine. And the E. coli was in the waste of the cattle. And then there's another company that is, and some of you know this, and we were, it was very frightening. Another thing I found out about, and I learned about this one on poison, but I remember when it happened, is this was a very, very large company, the largest in the country, that makes peanut butter. He killed many, many, many people died. There were rat droppings on everything, and they knew it. And the owner of the company said, just ship it out anyway. And he killed He's in jail for the rest of his life. So you got to really be careful. The same with eggs. You have to really be careful. So if you watch that, I think you'll learn a lot, but I'm really serious about how I clean my vegetables and how I clean. You've got to not just rinse things off, folks. I was rinsing off my basil that I grow, and they're all raised beds, and they're actually not even, they're on my deck because that's where all the sun is, because I live in the woods. And I was rinsing out my basil, and this is basil that's grown in big pots up off the ground on a deck. And there were bugs coming out of the basil, tiny, tiny ones, parasites. You might call them parasites, but tiny, tiny, tiny. And because it floats to the top. So I think I know it's really important to wash your vegetables and to wash your fruit. I don't think we can be too safe. And not just water, grapefruit seed extract, peroxide, whatever. There's a lot of ways to do it, but be meticulous about it. And I have a hard time eating out. I love making food. And I'm not saying, that once in a while I don't eat out, but it's hard because if I do, it's going to be spinach that's organic and washed, but you don't know. You just don't know. I know many, many years ago, it was over 20 years ago, I had a raw food restaurant and juice bar in Brighton, Michigan. It's way before its time, way before its time. And, but one of the things we did was we were careful about everything. So I'm just not, I don't want to put fear in you, but parasites are pretty bad for the body, and so are poisons and toxins. So I just thought I'd pass that on. We're exposed to chemicals and fertilizers and all the things you're looking at on the screen. And there's some things we can control, and there's some things we can't. So do the best with your purification of water, washing all of your vegetables and fruits. Do what you can, do your part, take responsibility. You're teaching your children as well. So, we're exposed to poisons and toxins on every level. So, detoxification should be something that you do on a regular basis. The reason there are detox products you can take every day, do they throw you into a big cleanse? No, but you can slowly detox every day. You can dry skin brush. I'm just putting this up there. This is an old one. A lot of you have probably seen it, but the antifreeze, as you know, I'm sure most of you know, because you're probably very educated, is in every one of those products you're looking at. So yeah, I had someone say to me when I was the director of Creative Health Institute, that's ridiculous. What are we supposed to do? Just buy all, pure things to put on our body? Absolutely. And they're not expensive anymore. So emotional detoxification. So when you detox, there's many things that happen as the poisons and toxins or nicotine or whatever you did when you were younger are coming out of your body. You can taste and smell it. So does that mean you're going to crave it again? No. Having a clear mind, a pure, when I went to Hippocrates and I did the 2-week program, and I know anybody out there, everybody that's done this, it raises your consciousness level to a degree that you just feel God every minute of the day. And that happens because your purification level, we are, I don't know, is it 70-80% water? And so poisons and toxins, our cells are swimming in them. But when your body is so clean, and most of you have probably experienced this and are experiencing this, you don't need deodorant. You wake up in the morning, your mouth tastes sweet. I'm not saying don't brush your teeth. Your mouth tastes sweet. You don't have any body odor. Even when you have an elimination, there is no bad smell. Okay? Unless you're eating food that rots in the body. And I'm not saying, if you're a meat eater, I don't judge anybody. Of course not. But if you're a meat eater, eat healthy, grass-fed organic meat, and also organic chicken. Chew it very, very, very well and take a lot of digestive enzymes. You will, but what happens with your mind, because your body's so pure, you begin to, your consciousness rises, and it's pretty amazing. It's everybody that has experienced that wants to come back to it. They don't want, and it's something you want to live with. I remember when I left Boston, Hippocrates, and I felt like I was walking through the world, looking at the world through someone else's eyes. I went with 3 huge fibroids, tumors on my ovaries, extreme depression. I was in a divorce. I left there 2 weeks later as a different person, happy, peaceful, content, and fulfilled. And I never looked back, never. It was such a profound experience for me. So what you need to do when you're doing detoxification is not, even if you're going to, I know someone's speaking next week about fasting, but you need to support your eliminative and your filtering systems. You have to do that. So your filtering systems, your detoxification systems are your skin, your lungs, your kidneys, your cleansing system, and your colon. The filtering systems are your liver and your lymph. So you got to work with something that helps detoxify all that. That's what my products do. And yes, you might even be happy with the products you have, but you need to support the process. Dry skin brushing, rebounding, breathing, drinking water. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing. I could do a whole class on that sometime, but I know you guys have a lot of speakers coming up. So without proper detoxification, our bodies will not remove toxins effectively. So your liver is your filtering system. It deactivates toxins. It transfers nutrients into the bloodstream. If your liver is filled, for instance, if you had a sponge and you put it in a vat of oil, it's not going to do anything. It's not going to work. So the filter, your liver's like a filter. Okay. And it's fed through the blood system that goes through the liver. It actually deactivates poisons and toxins, and it's supposed to, and if it's clean. Liver flushes are important. And I could email that information out as well to you. And you guys probably all have it already, but it filters poisons and toxins, and it allows the nutrients to go into the bloodstream. So liver is one of your most important things. So this I think is pretty important. And you kind of let me know how time is, please, Cricket, because I'm not looking at a clock. Our body stores
about 20 minutes.
Okay, our body
about 20 minutes. Yeah.
Okay, our body stores toxins in fat molecules. So let me say that a different way. The body protects itself by surrounding poisons and toxins with fat molecules, okay? So as you detoxify, the body breaks down the fat to release the poisons. More toxins, back in the day or whenever, I don't know how many people there are novices, but when you made the changes in your life and you started eating healthy, and all of a sudden you felt terrible, and you felt like you had a cold, and you had aches and pains and all of this other stuff, and you were thinking, I should be feeling better. Well, the body, because you will be blowing your nose a lot, and the body surrounds mucus, and the mucus surrounds toxins as well. So when you start to detoxify, your body's going to start break down the mucus so the poisons and toxins can come out. So the body produces and holds on to mucus to protect itself. So let's talk a little bit about water. And we talked a little bit about your cleansing system. All right. So if you look at your lungs, most people don't pay attention to the breath. If we're tense, we hold our breath. If we're anxious, we hold our breath. Breathing is extremely important. It takes in and releases poisons and toxins. It helps to strengthen your lungs. So you got to make it a habit, but it takes a while to get in the habit of remembering to breathe and to actually put aside, at least if you can, remember, this is taking responsibility for our health. And the older we get, believe me, the better you want to feel. Because it's not easy if you don't take care of yourself as you age at all. I've seen it with people. I still have a half practice. I don't have a full practice. But because I do so many things, but I love working with my clients, and every one of my clients, especially the ones that have been coming to me for 40 years, are as healthy as they could possibly be. So when you breathe, you gotta try to get in the habit of giving yourself 10 minutes of breathing a day, where you're breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth, and in through your nose and hold it for 5 or 6 seconds and out through your mouth. And you can Google it. There's a lot of different breathing techniques. You've got to drink water. I know you hear it over and over again, but it helps a lot. I'm going to go through this and show you more reasons why. You got to drink water also to keep the bladder and the kidney working right. And also sweating is important because it brings poisons and it allows the body to get poisons out of the skin. So dry skin brushing is a must. If you don't have a dry skin brush, grab one. It's easy to do. And also, you probably, I would be surprised if Cricket doesn't have a handout or something for that. If not, I could email it. So let's take a look at the trend at the entire alimentary tract. Okay. You know, if you were to look at a picture, something, your mouth started watering, that's because your brain's telling your body. Your brain is actually releasing enzymes into the saliva, and the first place it is released is right there at the salivary gland, right at the back of your throat. So as you go down the esophagus into the stomach, through the small intestine and into the large intestine, that is about 45 to 55 feet long. All right. And so your large intestine normally is 5 to 6 feet long. Your small intestine is 20 to 25 feet long. So this is a long way. And when you think about eating meat and how long it stays in the body, it causes putrefaction. If you were to put a steak or whatever on the counter and it's 98 degrees and you go and look at it the next day, if it's pork, parasites are going to be everywhere. If it's beef, it's going to be rotted. I don't say this to have you not eat it. I say this, eat less of it, chew it very, very well, and make sure you take your digestive enzymes. You don't want the putrefactive matter to stay in there, and you certainly don't want to build up poisons and toxins on the colon wall, because that causes so many problems. When you have, well, I'm going to be getting into more of that in a moment. So let's talk a little bit about the systemic consequences of poor digestion. Okay, it imparts digestion causes intestinal toxemia, which causes candida and parasites. It also causes imbalance of gut flora, which the mucosa, the lining of the large intestine, is there's 3 layers. This causes leaky gut. So what is leaky gut? Leaky gut is actually microscopic perforations of the colon wall that allow food particles to go into the blood, and they're not supposed to be in the blood. Causes a lot of problems, chronic disease. They call fibromyalgia. It's basically inflammation, and you can reverse that. So you address the inside of the colon by balancing, by doing the probiotics, by doing digestive enzymes, by chewing your food, by keeping the colon clean. All right. But you also can enhance digestion. And when you enhance digestion, it helps eliminate toxins. All right. Which actually, actually helps eliminate candida and parasites. Not just, there's a candida parasite program. Does that mean it's going to take you a year of watching every single thing you put in your mouth? Absolutely not. But there's things you do have to do, and it's not as difficult as most people think. So this also helps normalize the gut flora, which reduces the inflammation and can help repair intestinal mucosa. So it's not that difficult. We talked a little bit earlier about the cells in the body changing. Do you know the cells in your large and small intestine are changing every 60 to 90 seconds? So you're creating new cells all the time. It's really the easiest part of the body to heal. So we're going to talk a little bit more about colon health. The gut microbiome affects everything: communication in the intestinal tract, metabolism, immune system, some pathogenic infections, gut flora, leaky gut. So having a good flora and digesting well helps with all these side effects. So I'm not going to get into glycosylation because that's another whole class, but when you're balanced, when balanced, there is when the gut health is balanced, there's symbiotic relationship between bacteria and human cells. You got to have bad bacteria and good bacteria. Okay. So supporting cell-to-cell communication is important. It's essential for mucosal immune function and nutrient absorption. And it supports mucous membrane integrity and helps to modify the whole gut. So it's important. Glycosylation is essential to establish cell communication. Let's take a look at this. Not a pretty picture at all. It's very common, but it's really the easiest part to reverse when we're working with the body. So this is a cutaway of the small and large intestine. And if you take a look at this, you have the blood. This goes, I don't know if a lot of you have done wheatgrass implants, but it's better absorbed. Anything's better absorbed directly because it goes right through the pyloric vein and into the liver and then into the stomach. So we do wheatgrass implants. We do a lot of pretty powerful things when we're doing retreats and raw food days and raw food retreats. It's pretty amazing the way you can feel after even a day and a half. Okay, so we'll take a look at this. When you take food into your stomach, and this is a question a lot of people ask. If you look right there where the splenic muscle, the splenic flexure is, when it's pure water, it stays open. And so what happens, the water is then allowed to go through the entire small and large intestine and keeping it moist. Okay, when you eat food, the sphincter muscle closes and the enzymes are dropped into the stomach to help digest the food. Okay, and so that's the difference between eating pure water. You've got to drink water. You need it for every part of detoxification. So this is actually more of what a dried out, fecal matter would look like. And if you take a look at the sympathetic and parasympathetic circulatory system, it lines the intestinal wall. All right. And you can take a look at how pockets, even though it's cartoonish, pockets are formed. You've got to drink a lot of water. It's very, very important to do that. It helps with not forming the pockets. Of course, a lot of that depends on what you're eating. So detoxification is important. Let's talk a little bit about stress, okay? It affects your entire being. It affects you physically, it affects you emotionally, it affects you spiritually. So can you run away from it? No, but we can help with it. Just looking, I think my dog wants to go outside. All right, so there's good stress. It's called eustress. It's like when you get excited about something, that's a good stress. It actually makes you feel good. It improves performance. It's short term, but it's called eustress. And then of course there's stress that is the bad stress, and it interferes with our body's elimination, our filtering systems to perform properly. It affects assimilation of nutrients. and it's top 3 causes of death in America, and some believe it's number 1. So when you think about stress relief, breathing, relaxing, yoga, exercise, prayer, meditation, setting time aside for yourselves. I mean, hopefully I'm going to be more mobile next month so I can come. Anyway, you can't overlook diet and nutrition. It's also often overlooked as part of relieving stress, because the right kind of diet and nutrition will help with that. But you've got to give yourself quiet time. It's important to do that. And I know that Cricket talks about young oils, and there's so many good oils for helping with stress. So nutrition, a healthy diet and lifestyle play an extremely important role and can reduce the negative effects of stress on your body. Detoxification is major for reducing stress because your body becomes more acidic. I don't want to frighten anybody, but detoxification is important. The main types of immune cells are white cells. And when we're stressed, the immune system's ability to fight off an antigen is reduced. All the antigens. Now we're more susceptible to infections. So the stress hormone, corticosteroid, can suppress the effectiveness of our immune system. So give yourself quiet time to pray, to meditate, to relax, no matter what. I know that it's a crazy world. I'm a type A personality, but I got to tell you, I have really changed. And I had a bad fall over 2 months ago. And this was the universe saying, all right, it's time. You have to slow. And I had to. I hadn't been able to walk for almost 6 weeks. That's how bad the pain was. And I'm still using a walker, but I'm almost done with it. I'm going back and forth between a cane and a walker. I had a really bad fall, but I have really grown from it. And that's what challenges in life do. They help us grow. So I think I covered this already. Yes. Okay. Let me go. I think I'm going the wrong way. All right.
Got about 5 minutes, Joyce.
All right. Proper nutrition and food can help control stress in several ways. It can cut the levels of cortisol and adrenal stress hormones that adrenal stress and hormones take a toll on our body. It can help impact stress by building your immune system and lowering your blood pressure. So these are a few things. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to finish it all, but I'm getting close. Vitamin E in foods. Foods that are high in vitamin E: sunflower, almonds, spinach, avocados. Polyphenols are found in red wine. I don't drink, but some people do. Blueberries, dark chocolate. Do you know that red cherries help you sleep? They help you sleep, so you might want to eat a few cherries before you go to bed. So our bodies become depleted of vital nutrients. Vitamins and minerals, free radicals are created when we're stressed. Stress depletes our bodies of these very important nutrients, which are needed to keep our immune system strong. So proper nutrition will support a slow, constant cellular detox. So when you're eating the right kind of foods and taking the right supplements, your body definitely can detox. Best when you're eating right and taking really good supplements and digestive enzymes, your body can detoxify on a daily basis. So we have to have time for ourselves, exercise, fun, prayer, yoga, music, and quiet time. We have the ability to address the needs of our entire selves. Toxic waste is produced I think I did this already. Sorry. So we do have choices, and you guys all know that, or you wouldn't be where you are tonight. This is my website, ageless-energy.com. I've emailed out. I have 2 special things going on. September the 17th, we have a all-day detox day. I sent that out to Cricket, but we have a very, very special 5-day raw food retreat, and it's going to be incredible. We're only going to allow 10 people. So I sent that information out to Cricket. That's in October. It's very special. So I want to thank you so much, Cricket, for having me. And I just really appreciate being able to share. It's a passion for me. Thank you, Cricket.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So are you done sharing your screen?
Oh yeah, what do I do?
Okay, I got it.
Okay. All right.
Well, great. Thanks, Joyce. Does anybody have any quick questions for Joyce?
How does she clean her food, vegetables?
She said you can use grapefruit seed extract, hydrogen
Peroxide.
peroxide. She asked how you clean your food.
I use grapefruit seed extract. And I like it.
Yeah.
Somebody mentioned vinegar and water.
White vinegar,
Yeah. How about salt?
salt.
Well, I always use I've used salt, I've used vinegar. I just have always used grapefruit seed extract for so long. To be honest with you, I don't know if vinegar gets rid of everything. I'd like to find that out, so I'm probably gonna look it up.
Yeah, I
Thank
don't
you
know what
for
it.
sharing that.
Yeah, what Joyce?
Flowers.
I said thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
What about
Oh, we have a Joyce here. I'm sorry.
white flowers?
White flowers?
You know, we make the bread, the flowers. Or the
Yeah.
bread.
What about it?
Use that too, like to clean up.
To clean?
Use that clean, because the flowers doesn't draw the mud, all the dust, the dirt.
Oh, okay.
Especially in the mushrooms, we use the salt and the white flowers to clean the
Oh,
the mushrooms with.
one of the people here said they use white flour and salt mixed together to clean things, especially like mushrooms, because it attracts the dirt and
Oh, mushrooms, yeah.
yeah.
Thank you
So,
for sharing.
yeah.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
I have a question. I'm not into this, but regarding colonoscopy, because sometimes people have polyps and stuff. I've never had one. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, I will never tell my patients to get one or not. I've never had
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
And I'm 80, so I'm pretty healthy. But I think in some cases it's necessary, and you have to really know. I think if it was me and I would have, and I was going to have one, I know I would take a lot of time choosing the person that was going to do it.
Okay. Yeah, I don't see a reason to do it, but I just know a lot of people do that at my age, but someone said just do colon hydrotherapy, but I don't know if that's enough.
No, it's not the same.
Yeah.
There's a fecal test you can do.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a fecal test, and that will tell you if you need to go further with a colonoscopy. So, and my
Hey,
husband and I do those. Yeah.
You're right. You're right. And there's also a capsule. I don't know if it's covered by insurance, that you can swallow, takes pictures all the way down. They have that now too.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
interesting.
The only
It's
reason I had like cervical polyps. That's why the only reason why, and who knows, that could have been from a long time ago. But anyways,
Right.
just thought to ask it,
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you so much. I
Sure.
love hearing this every time.
Oh, great. Thank you so much for having me, Cricket.
You're welcome, Joyce. Thanks for joining. Thanks,
Have a
everyone,
beautiful
for being on Zoom. We'll send out the recording for those that didn't get to. We cut out for a few minutes there. I think you just kept on talking, Joyce. Hopefully it recorded you, so.
Can you send out the liver detox, Joyce, if you get a chance?
Absolutely. I'll send it to you, Cricket, okay?
Yeah, and
Tomorrow.
I'll
I
put it
think
in.
I still have
I'll
one
put-
more call tonight, but I'll send it to
Okay.
you tomorrow.
Okay, I'll put it in with the replay link, so.
All
Thank
right.
you.
And your retreats, I'll put those in with the.
Oh, thank you, honey, so much. They're going to be life-changing. They are life-changing. It's pretty incredible.
All right, good night, everybody.
Good
Night,
night.
everybody.